Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you're following this from. It's amazing that we're getting to meet today amidst everything that's happening with the whole global COVID-19 situation. But again, thanks so much for your time. I think Creatio has done a phenomenal job of putting this event together. I mean, 24 hours, 7 languages. I think it's the best you can ask for, and I think it's amazing. So again, thanks so much. Imagine had this happened in 1999 or 2000, we would have been stuck with our old Motorola, BlackBerry, Nokia phones with 100 minutes of free calling and 100 text messages. So I think we're in a much better place looking at it from a positive sense that way. So with the amount of advancements in telecommunications technology, I think this is phenomenal, and this is as good as it can get with respect to meeting virtually. So I'm excited. Thanks so much. It's I really hope you find this session useful. Not a long one. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. We've got about 30 minutes. So without further ado, let's quickly jump on. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Harith S. Gopal. I head the Creatio practice and the business development function at PSIOG Digital. Personally, I've had the privilege. I've been fortunate enough to have had the opportunity to work with some really large enterprises on their digital transformation journeys. Kroger, Bosch & Lomb, Holcim being some of them, and I've also had the opportunity to work with some cutting edge, industry leading platforms across various streams, if I may call it that. So I've also been part of different streams such as marketing automation, cross-channel campaign management, CRM, BPM, e-commerce platforms, content management platforms, so on and so forth. So I've had the opportunity to intimately see a lot of these in action, work with these organizations as partners, so on and so forth. So that's a little bit of background. So when I talk through this presentation, where I'll be talking of the different things that you can look for when you're trying to zero in on the right technology for your sales, service, and marketing functions, I'm deriving out of the experiences that I've managed to get working with these organizations and platforms in my career. So like I said, I represent PSIOG Digital. PSIOG, we're based in the southernmost part of India, a city called Chennai. We're about 115 associates. We're the world's largest certified Creatio partner. We've executed more than 15 engagements across the globe. We've got customers, right from the Pacific coast in the US all the way through to Australia. We've worked in multiple geographies, multiple cultures. Other than Creatio, we also do a host of things like working on custom applications on the .NET stack. We also do some work around the ERP, the Microsoft Dynamics ERP space. We also have a core enterprise data management practice where we work on a lot of intensive data work. On top of this, we also have a core reporting and analytics practice where we work on a variety of platforms again, such as Oracle, Hyperion, Power BI from Microsoft, SSRS, SSAS, so on and so forth. So that's a little bit about us as an organization and myself as an individual. Moving on, let's get to the first part about how you can pick the right platform for your digital transformation exercise. So the first thing that any of us need to do is understand the ecosystem of players. I think we've got the way the industry or the ecosystem has evolved today is that there are so many options. There are so many options out in the marketplace that it's often very confusing for executives when they where to start. We also have to remember that the intuitive way that all of us do it is go to Google, go online and try to search for the kind of platform that you're looking at, or you talk to references or people you know, so on and so forth. But always remember this: an organization's visibility on the internet is directly proportional to how deep their pockets are. So doesn't mean that the first 3 or 4 products that you find, or the first page that you find on Google, are the best ones, or are the ones that are going to suit your needs. So it's a huge marketplace. There are so many different options. The one good thing is, there are analysts that do part of a lot of the hard work that you need to do. Again, not all of it, but only part of it. There are some fantastic reports that come out of analysts such as Forrester, Gartner, Nucleus Research. So there are some amazing reports that go into a lot of detail with their primary and secondary research findings, and help you with shortlisting from this universe of products that you have. But again, like I said, that's only the first step. And that, that there could always be products that don't feature in these reports, but could hit, what you need specifically straight with their offerings. So always be cognizant about the fact that it's a world where you're playing with folks. It's an uneven ecosystem that all of these products are playing in. For example, some big organizations may have deep pockets, may be able to get more visibility, more screen time, more mind share of executives such as yourself when they come in. But there are a lot of organizations that are not very famous, but are fantastic with their offerings and the way they've been built. So I think we've all got to be cognizant of that when we try to shortlist and identify the first few of products whose offerings we're going to evaluate, while we, for our digital transformation exercises. The second thing that you need to always look at is you've got to be able to call the shots. I mean, again, there are these large, I call them bullies in the marketplace, who think that their offerings are what customers need. That's not always true. Yes, their offerings are built based on what they've seen from customers, what they've heard from customers on what they want, but no two customers are the same. They may be the same industry, they may be the same segment, they may be in the same geography, they may be working on the same accounts or so on and so forth, but they can never be the same. So while we can't always look for hyper personalization with respect to what we buy, it can happen only in the build scenario when you're not really looking to buy products, but you're looking to build it. While it's not possible for you to get hyper personalization, you at least need to be able to choose what you need. You at least need to be able to pick exactly what you need and not get forced into buying product bundles or buying things that satisfy what you need with only a portion of it, but you're forced to buy a lot more because that's how the platform sells it, or that's how the organization sells it. So you should be able to extract that flexibility, because at the end of the day, you're the customer. You're the reason why they exist in the marketplace. You're the reason why, they built their offerings today. It's for you to consume. So you need to be able to zero in on what you need and buy just that. Don't get forced into buying something that you don't need, because remember, you got to walk long. You've got to walk long. The more weight you carry, the more difficult it's going to be in the long run. So just be able to pick products that give you the flexibility to pick exactly what you need. The second piece, they also need to give you the flexibility with respect to how you use it. Now, we've heard a lot of people come and say, we do only cloud, no software. We do only cloud, we do only on-premise. We have certain ways of deployment. That's the only way you could do it because that's the best way to do it, so on and so forth. Again, never buy into that unless it fits exactly into what you need. You need to have the flexibility to do it your way. If you have an ecosystem, if you have a security need, if you have an infrastructure need that has to have the applications, the software that you buy within your physical infrastructure, then so be it. It has to be that way. If you want to do it on a private cloud, it has to be that way. It doesn't necessarily have to always be the way the products tell you to do it. I mean, this is I'm I'm now talking at it, having been a marketer all my life. I'm talking about this from a customer's perspective today. Marketers are told, or come in from the mindset to say you need to tell the customer what he wants. Steve Jobs once famously said, "The customer does not know what he wants. You need to tell him what he wants." That may work in the consumer world, doesn't necessarily work in the business world. You need to be able to do it your way, and the products or platforms need to give you the flexibility for you to do it your way. So platforms need, the first point, need to give you specifically the features that you need and not add a lot of bloat into the offering that they give. Second thing, they need to be able to let you use the application or the offering the way you want it. You want to deploy it on-premise, do it. You want to deploy it, you want to have it on the cloud, so be it. So you need to have that flexibility. The third important thing, I mean, we've all heard about this a lot, haven't we? Integrations. No application sits alone in an ecosystem. You're going to have a set of applications that have to work together, that have to, speak to each other for your, business to be able to seamlessly run on technology. For your digital transformation to be successful, you need to be able to get applications to work together. Now, that's not as easy as it sounds. I mean, some applications are exceedingly good at it, but most of them are not. Most of them you're going to be having to spend a lot of time understanding how this is going to work, and even more time in getting it to work with your other systems. Yes, I mean, we all understand that we may have some systems that are legacy. We may have some systems that were built 15 years ago, but we still can't get rid of them. We may have to get this to work with that, so on and so forth. But pick the ones that let you connect externally in the easiest possible way. Pick the ones that have the most, variety of, ability to connect. I mean, the type of APIs, the type of interfaces, so on and so forth. Pick the ones that give you variety with respect to how you can connect. Pick the ones that give you solution accelerators that let you connect quickly. Pick the ones that have marketplace plugins that let you connect to external systems easily. So, I mean, this is a very critical thing that you need to consider while picking the right platform. Last part in this context is you need to be able to do things your way, the way you want, with the resources that you have. You don't necessarily have to go and stand and wait for a vendor to do it for you, wait for your IT ecosystem to do it for you. Gone are the days when every change would take 3 weeks, every small change would take 3 weeks, and a host of complexity with respect to getting that change deployed onto your production. Gone are the days. We're living in the no-code ecosystem. We're living in an ecosystem where we're talking of citizen developers. You will have heard of everybody at this event talk of citizen developers. We're looking at times when you have to be able to do things yourself. Don't depend on IT all the time. So pick the platform that gives you capabilities that lets you make small changes yourself. Yes, IT cannot be replaced completely. You cannot do everything by yourself, but you should be able to differentiate between things that are smaller, things that are configurations rather than changes. So, adding new things, tweaking a few functionalities, you should be able to do that yourself with your platform rather than having to go and, wait for IT to do that for you, or wait for your external vendor to do that for you, or have, pay exorbitant amounts of money to bring in a vendor and have those changes, maintain your application, so on and so forth. So this is one critical aspect. Do it your way, have it fit well in your ecosystem, and be able to do it yourself if the need arises. So I think in summary, that's what I wanted to share with this particular slide. So moving on. So I hope you can all see my screen. It's something that we often run into, the duct tape culture, as they call it in North America. We seem to think that duct tape can fix everything. Something that we need to understand is two things that are not built together seldom work really well together. It takes a really, really long time for two different applications to get together and work seamlessly. That's the challenge with acquisitions. Now, if you look at all of these biggies, Salesforce, Microsoft, Oracle, Adobe, Salesforce acquired ExactTarget, Pardot, Microsoft acquired Marketing Pilot, Oracle did a slew of acquisitions, Responses, Eloqua, Bluekai, um, Adobe acquired Neolane. So they've, if you look at if you look at their suites that cover sales, service, marketing, you will find a lot of acquisitions, a lot of capabilities. Mind you, they're really strong capabilities. I'm not taking anything away from them. They've acquired some really strong platforms, but they've been put together in an inorganic manner. So what does that bring to the table? Yes, it could give you some strong capabilities. We'll get to if you need them or not later, but it could give you some capabilities. But with them put together in the manner that they have been put together with acquisitions, they don't necessarily always work really well together. So you're looking at a product which is already, or a suite of products which is already force fit into one bucket to say, you know what, this is what you're going to use. So they don't necessarily work well together. And the way in a lot of cases, they've been integrated, one application fails, it could potentially bring down the rest. So pick a platform that has a common base. Pick a platform that gives you a base that is organically built and capabilities which are built on top of it without force feeding it from an external environment. I think that's something that you always need to be cognizant about. We always tend to fall prey to seeing fantastic, phenomenal, glamorous functionalities that come in and capabilities that come in with these product suites, but we always need to look under the hood, understand how they've been put together, understand how these capabilities have been built. So always be wary of acquisitions that these large organizations make when you buy their products. It could give you capabilities. It could also be a bane. It could bring your system down. It could make it extremely difficult for all of these to work together. One UI, as they call it. You need to be able to have one interface, a seamless interface that lets you do everything from that interface without having to worry about where each thing comes from within the product suite. That's moving on. Again, this is critical. We've heard this a lot, haven't we? We've heard about software implementations going on for ages. We've heard about software implementations happening over years. What you need today may not be what you may need tomorrow. So always remember that today's needs need to be fulfilled today. Today's needs, you may only need something, something that you get. The food is tasty only when you eat it when you're hungry, not when you're full. So, you're not tomorrow, or when your current needs may have changed, the software that is built to suit your current needs may not be relevant when they actually go live at a later point in time. So look at accelerating your implementation cycles. I mean, that's an easy thing to say, but the best way to do it easily is to pick the right platforms that let you go to market, or get them live faster. Pick low-code platforms. I mean, there are some things that you don't have a workaround for yet, right? I mean, complex integrations. If you've got a homegrown system, that is probably that you need to integrate with your current ecosystem, with the product that you're buying. That is probably going to take you some time. But most of the features, functionalities, customizations, configurations that you need to do for the product to suit your business, you should be able to do them fast. You should be able to get them live as soon as possible. We're talking of days, months, definitely not years. The 30, 60, 90-day plan. I mean, we've all heard about it. So you should be able to get something out frequently. You should be able to get your first iteration out in a matter of, if it's just implementation and no integrations. I mean, we're not looking at more than 4 weeks. We cannot afford to look for more time than 4 weeks or 6 weeks at best. If you're looking at integrations, I mean, 2 or 3 systems that you need to integrate with, definitely not more than 8 to 12 weeks. So you need to be able to draw these boundaries and get a product that supports you in the aggressive timelines that you're looking at. So I think that's critical. your users need to have the excitement when they get the product to use. They come in and give you requirements. They tell you what they need with a lot of excitement. But no, don't let that fizz out. Don't take a long time to take it live, because if it's going to be a long time, they're going to find workarounds. They're going to just, and like I said, the needs are probably going to be different when you get it. So the time is now. You got to do it now, and you got to have applications that let you do it now. I think one last slide that I have experienced this a lot. Let me take the case of CRM, for example, or any application for that matter. The success of an implementation or an application is driven by the users adopting it, how good the users feel, or how well the users use the system. So nothing else defines the success of an application. You may have a great application, but if you're not going to get your user base to adopt and use it, it's of no use. So it's driven by that. And in the case of CRM, imagine you've got a sales guy who's on the market the entire day. He's got to cover a certain geography, and he has to get back home at 8 p.m. in the night or 6 p.m. in the evening. He's tired. Do you want him, imagine his flight if he's got to, open his computer and, fill in a zillion forms to update his opportunity and lead data? No, I mean, that's the last thing he's going to do. You're going to find it very difficult if you don't have a system that makes your users' lives easier, especially in the case of CRM. CRM has got one of the biggest adoption problems amongst all systems globally. All kinds of systems. CRM has the biggest adoption problems, followed by niche systems that are used by people on the field, right? For example, if you're having a system that's a field service management system and you're looking at the mining industry, you're going to have people wearing gloves. You need to be able to have an application driven by infrastructure that lets those folks use the application without making their lives miserable. Similarly, in the case of CRM, you need to make their lives easier. Give it to them on the field where they need it, so their data input and access to information is as seamless as possible. Your success is if you make their lives easier. So, pick applications that have an intuitive UI that lets you, tweak the UI to an extent where your users feel comfortable using it. Don't burden them with something that you think is good. Pick something that you're able to map and match with their expectations with respect to how they use it and how it's going to make their life easier. So getting an application that's intuitive, easy to use, and works across different channels and platforms is critical. I think it's the most important thing with respect to any application that helps you digitize your sales, service, and marketing engines. So that's the last point that I had. With that, I will take any questions that you may have. Questions, thoughts, comments. I'd be happy to answer them. We can also connect offline. I'm leaving my coordinates below. You can see my coordinates on the screen. You can reach me on email, or feel free to give me a call or WhatsApp. I'll be happy to answer. And I really hope you found this session useful. Take care, stay safe, and hopefully we'll all meet in person at Accelerate 2021. Take care. Thank you.